Welcome back. This is Wealth Principle 46. We're going through our journey. There are 52 weeks in a year, and so we've got 52 wealth principles. Some are lesser known, some of the big hitters that every book talks about. But the problem with most books is they don't include all of those micro habits, those micro principles. And that's what the 52 weeks to wealth includes, the 52 millionaire wealth principles. If you tackle them one at a time, one each week, you will guarantee your success. If you miss one, even one, results may vary. Wealth Principle 46 is simplify your life and business. There was a book that we used to talk about during this wealth principle called The Power of Broke by Damon John. Damon John is one of the sharks, and he talks about FUBU, whose brand, and how he came into this. But Mike Shine and I recently had a conversation. We agreed to change the book of the week. Mike will be presenting that later. Let's dive right into Wealth Principle 46. Simplify your life and business. I also changed the name of the principle. If you go to the website, it is updated now. It used to be Stay Broke. Simplify your life and your business. And I did not like keeping the word broke in anything that we do. I don't want you to think stay broke as in not having money. It's stay with the perception that money is out there working. So I don't want you to think not have money, because this is how I used to teach this lesson was, look, stay broke, like hide the money, like don't let anybody know about it. Just keep hustling. And as soon as money comes in, get rid of it. Whereas now I realize it's not hide the money. It's put the money to work. Put the money to play, like get it moving, getting it, like stagnant money doesn't make money, right? It's got to get rolling. It's got to get moving into something. Money is currency. Money is flow. Money is movement. And if you leave it staying still, just like in a pond, when water collects and sits in a pond, it gets algae, it gets stagnant. It becomes deadly, right? Things can't live there unless they live without oxygen. Whereas fresh moving water is healthy for you. It's got oxygen in it. Things can live in it. It's more pure. It's moving constantly. Money is the same way. The more you move your money, the more you make. Now, sometimes you move your money into liabilities. You make money for other people. Does that make sense? Yes. Your time is like money. Your time and energy are like money. The more you put out there, the more energy you're putting out there, the more activity you're creating, the more somebody else is experiencing that energy. Does that make sense? If you're doing it for somebody else, the law of reciprocity means that they have to give you something. The universe, people, the world, everybody you meet will only ever give you what you're worth, not what they define you as worth, what you define yourself as worth. Because if somebody defines you as less worthy, somebody who understands that they are more worthy will just walk away. But somebody who believes that, okay, that seems like a good deal to me, would sign the paper. Does that make sense? Excellent. So you can have more because you can become more. And by become more, I mean perceive yourself as more. Do you think that a person who makes $1 million a year is worth more than a person who makes $10,000 a year? Arguably. Do you think even their knowledge, the amount of knowledge they have in their head, is 100 times more? Maybe in books, possibly. But when it comes down to practical knowledge, the things that make you successful, it's not that different. It's not that much. When it comes to the things that make you successful, it's a couple of principles. There's 4. If you want to know the money rules, and I talk about them often. First, generate income, increase income. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. So number 1, increase income. Number 2, save that money, save that excess cash. Number 3, invest it into assets that go up in value and pay more money, that generate more income. All right, Terry, generate income. Number 4, the lesser talked about one is simplify your life. The problem with most people is they spend most of their time in simplifying. So this is the problem with broke people. They're simplifying everything. They're Dave Ramseying it way too hard. I'd say the simplify is about 4% of your life. 96% needs to be out there grinding, building, growing. focusing, thinking, doing the hard work in life, which is thought. Focus on what you want. Write this down. The reason I don't have what I want is because I don't know what I want. Write it down. It's all about clarity. Once you get clear about what you want, you'll have it. Once you get clear about where you're going, nothing can stop you. Once you get clear on what you're worth as a human being, what you're worth in monetary value, nothing can stop you from attaining it. Now, I'm not saying go and up your prices. What I'm saying is get better. Go and find the skill that people are willing to pay for. People who are wealthy, people who believe they're worth more, will do whatever it takes to become more valuable in the eyes of the people who have the money they're looking to attain. More people would much rather have other people's opinions than other people's money. Does this make sense? Now, I'm not accusing this room because I know this room is better than that. I know that this is the 1%ers because only the 1% make $1 million. Well, the top 5% will make $1 million too. So the 1% net worth is $12 million. The top 5% is $1 million. Write that down. It's very important to know that the goal you're going after puts you in the top 5%. For many of you, you've already looked at Deck Millionaire and said, yeah, why not? Might as well hit it. It's okay. Well, in order to do that, you can't do what the other 95% are doing. And the other 95%, when they make money, you know what they do? Who's got a guess? They make it disappear. That's what they're good at. But they put it in somebody else's pocket who's just going to keep it. Who's just going to keep it or roll it into some other investment. Who is here for my $1,000 in a week course? The training that I ran, the one special training. Did you catch the theme? The theme was that everybody in the room was going to be passing that $1,000 around. Did that make sense? The theme is such that money is only as valuable to you as long as it is building your life, making your life better. So what's it matter if I take $10,000 and I roll it into somebody who's going to go and bring me back $20,000? Right? Like, of course I'll make that investment. That's why I'm called an investor. That's what it is. I take my money, I take other people's money, I roll it into projects where people are going to make money. And then I roll that into other projects where other people are going to make money and get paid. But by the time it all comes back to me, it's multiplied, it's multiplied, it's multiplied, it's multiplied. It's become more and more and more instead of just, that first initial investment. And it's the same with this coaching program. So for everybody on the call, you can look around. Everybody who's camera you see, these are people who are students. They are dedicated. In fact, I look at most of the people on the line right now. You're like investors who've been with us for a while, right? Look at everybody on the call. This is people who have been in this game for a while, been dedicated to this community for a while. Do you know why? Christmas is coming. Everybody else is saying, I don't have time for success. I don't have time to get together with a bunch of people and talk about simplifying my life. I got to go buy Christmas gifts. I got to go spend more of that money. Look, if they spent a little bit more time in here with you, they'd probably have more money for their Christmas gifts. Does that make sense? Absolutely. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's commitment. It's dedication to yourself, to your family, to the person you're looking to become. That's why we show up on Saturdays. That's why for some of us, we show up on Mondays, looking to wholesale deals, looking to find more real estate. That's why some of us, we show up on Wednesdays, looking to buy more real estate for ourselves. That's why people in the mentorship, you're hanging out there till at 8 o'clock on Monday nights. Sometimes it's 9 o'clock. Sometimes we go till 10. We go as long as it takes to make sure that everybody gets what they're looking for. Does that make sense? Is it okay that we commit whatever it takes? Write this down. WIT, big letters, WIT. You know what that stands for? Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. As long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. Just my disclosure on everything. Because I pitch and preach a very intense process for success. And so I got to be very clear about the rules. Legal, moral, ethical. They're the only rules. Everything else is whatever it takes. Does that make sense? We agree. We commit. Whatever it takes. Necessity is relative. I read that about 7 years ago. I was reading a book called I can't remember it now. The magic of birthdays or the mystery of birthdays, something like that. And it was all about like just horoscope sort of stuff. And the advice that it gave me was that I can tend to push too hard. Who thinks I push too hard? It's possible. Absolutely. I tend to be focused on success, single track minded. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. I tend to surround myself with a group of people who can be motivated by what I'm doing. All right. Okay. I see some of these things. And then its suggestion and advice to me, its contemplation was necessity is relative. And I realized that that's the secret weapon. That's what's gotten me to where I am is every day I look at my next goal and I say, I must do this. If I don't, I'm not being my best self. If I don't, I'm letting somebody down. If I don't go after this, what's the point in even being awake right now? And so I look at everything that I do as if it was necessary. I think most people realize how relative necessity is, how it's, whatever, no big deal. No big deal. Well, if nothing's a big deal, then nothing's ever going to be a big deal. And if it's not a big deal, why do it? People don't go after small deals. People don't get excited about small deals. You ever get excited about having the smallest piece of cake when you really wanted that cake? Not a single person. You ever get excited about getting the short end of the stick? Usually that's the one who has to go do the pretty bad project. It's about getting what you want in life, going after the big stuff. The big stuff excites you. When I talk about a million, who gets excited about a million? Because a million means, even if you already got a million still means you got another million, right? It's a big difference what you can do with a million than what you can do with $1. Now, the amount of time it takes to make a million and make $1 is the same. It's still one conversation with the right person. It's still just one conversation with the right person, and that person's you. It's right here. I'll do whatever it takes to get that dollar. I'll do whatever it takes to do it. And that's okay if whatever it takes is not spending that money today. If putting 10% aside is what makes the difference, if putting 10% aside, or you do what I do, put 50% aside, put 80% aside, I live off of almost nothing compared to what we make. Ron and I last year, I think we paid ourselves $75,000. We live off of nearly nothing when you look at what we make, because we've made a commitment to growing this thing. We've made a commitment to expanding, to going to that next level. Who thinks they could live off of 10% of their income? Right? We made $1.5 million last year. And we said, all right, we're keeping that. We're going to keep that in the machine. We're going to keep that running. We're going to keep it rolling. And we'll just pay ourselves 150. We split it. He got 75, I got 75. And we kept the rest in the machine. Who's got the ability to do that? Who thinks that they could live off of 10% of their money? We'll see, because we'll create the opportunity for you. But if you can live frugal the way we live, we rent where we live. I mean, technically I do own one of the houses that I live in sometimes. And this is like a splurge for me because we're out here doing some research in Tampa and writing a book, which, by the way, I finished last night. Give me a round of applause. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate the support. It has not been easy. I can speak all day. I can teach you. I can one-on-one. I can do this all day long. Create video. That is my forum. Sitting there and typing and rereading. Do you know why I love audiobooks? I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to do the reading and the going over and the reviewing. So it has been a long process. 70,000 words are in this book. And this book, I was convinced I was going to do all of it in one shot. But the book became bigger and bigger and bigger as I wrote. And so what I did is I cut the book in half. And I cut the book in a third. And so that's what this first book is. It's called Get the Deal. And it talks about how to find the real estate. The next book is Get the Money. The book after that is Build the Team. The book after that is Be the Bank. And I realized there's no way I could shortchange you guys if I did. If I put it all in one book right away, I wasn't doing my community a service. So I apologize for not getting the other ones rushed out, but I did get this one done. And it is now beta tested. You're able to go out and read it. It is on the website. If you go and look at my most recent blog that came out as I finished up the chapters at midnight, at 1 a.m, at 2 a.m, at 3 a.m, at 4 a.m, at 5 a.m, at 6 a.m, I decided to check my Facebook, and I didn't see anybody reading it. So please make sure that you go to gualtermurillo.com, go to the blog. Roger Figueroa read it. Give Roger a round of applause. The point is, whatever it takes, I am not just saying it as a rich person saying, hey, go do this, like good luck. I'm saying this as somebody who's still in it, still doing it, still doing whatever it takes to hit my mission that just happens to be bigger than just $1 million now. Does that make sense? I'm still staying frugal. You don't see the watches, right? You don't see the gold chains. This is something I bought in Vegas 4 years ago to remind me to be nicer to people, right? Because I was a little too harsh 4 years ago. I was not as nice as I am today. And so I wear on my wrist, I got tiger's eye, and I've got some lava rock, right? Lava for balance and tiger's eye for focus. Because as a high eye Kim Harvey, you know what I'm talking about, my high eyes Jill, I tend to be all over the place. But when I look down at my wrist and I say, okay, I got to focus, right? I got to focus because there's more people than just me out here right now. There's more people who rely on this mission to stay focused, to do one thing. And so I do. And so I look down at my wrist and I say, okay, yeah, that's right. 100 millionaires, one thing, let's go. If I'm gonna do one thing, I'm gonna stay in it, be balanced, be focused. And this is about abundance, right? The circle, this is Jade. And Jade is a reminder of life, energy, and it just makes you a little bit more balanced, a little more stable. Because before, the man who gave it to me, I was living in Vegas, and the man who gave it to me, he asked me, because I said I went to his feng shui shop. Is it okay if I tell a story? Everybody, I have permission to tell a story? Awesome. Before I get too into it, I went into his feng shui shop, and I walk in, I look around the store, and I've always loved, Asian culture. I've loved, well, for a time, Asian women. So I apologize that I went over and I said, hey man, I'm looking to get a little more stability in my life. Maybe find the one, maybe settle down. And he looks at me and says, okay, what's your birthday? Birthdays again. Here we go. So I give him my birthday, give him my date of birth, and he goes back and he comes back with a piece of paper with a bunch of lines on it in red ink. I still have this piece of paper. It's somewhere in my house, all these lines. And I look at it and I'm like, don't know what this says. He says, oh, well, basically it says that you're very high energy man. You're very high energy. So what we need to do, well, he had a deep, heavy Chinese accent. Absolutely amazing. So fantastic. To make the story right, you'll see what we need. You need Jade. Jade make you balance, more strong, more power, more love, more energy. I was like, okay, cool. And then he said, where do you live right now? Do you own a house? Well, he did it in his accent, right? So I'm not going to do it the whole time. So he said, do you live in a house? And he asked me if I own a house. This is what he said. Do you own a house? And I was like, yeah, I own 12 of them. He's like, oh, no. That's not no. Okay. Yeah, you need Big Jade. And I was like, he's like, where do you live? And I was like, oh, I live here and back in Massachusetts. I've got two places that I'm kind of living in right now. I live here in Vegas and out there. He says, no, you need stability. He said, you need some stability because no woman is going to be attracted to a person who's all over the place. Just like a community, no community can be there behind a leader who doesn't know what they're doing. So as you're building your company, as you're building your brand, as you're building your income, as you're building your family, if your goals are all over the place, if you want to do a bunch of things, it's really hard to get a bunch of people behind you. Does that make sense? But if you decide to just do one thing, one simple thing, simplify your life down to one thing, one goal, one big thing, just make it big, right? None of that small stuff. Like Warren Buffett says, you take 25 things, write them down, wipe out the bottom 20. The top things you want to do in your life, wipe that bottom 20 out and say, look, I'll never do them. I'm never going to get to that bottom 20. I'm just going to go into these top 5. I'm going to start with 1. Crush that one, move on to the next. Crush that one, move on to the next. Crush that one, move on to the next. Everybody wants 1,000 income streams. You heard these millionaires have 7 income streams. Who's heard that? Hands to the camp if you've heard millionaires have 7 income streams. Yeah, because they built one at a time. Built one at a time. The first one you build is your active income. I still have active income, right? I still have active income, of course. It's just big income. If I'm going to go out there and work, I better get paid. Does that make sense? If I'm going to go out there and show up, it better be on an asset. That book, I'll make millions off of that book. Is that okay that I make millions? Not off the sale of the book, because the sale gives me royalties. Amazon gets most of that. But the influence the book gives me, the validation the book gives me, the fact that I can throw that book in people's hands who would move me forward to the next level, it's like a expensive business card. Does that make sense? It's a business card that pays for itself and multiplies itself. Who wants business cards that pay for themselves and multiply themselves? Write a book. It's a good idea. Excellent. When you're talking about simplifying, you don't need to have a fancy car, but it would be nice to have whatever you've got paid off, right? It's okay to Dave Ramsey, man. Like Dave Ramsey has got it right on some stuff. Get gazelle intense. Who's read The Full Money Makeover? Hands to the camera if you've read The Full Money Makeover. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Some smart people out there. This is a good community. The Full Money Makeover forgets one thing. There it is. Good job, Robert. The Full Money Makeover forgets one thing. Once you've gotten to zero, once you've gotten to no debt, how do you get to $1 million? You can't do it by saving. You can't do it by simplifying. You got to go increase income. So I want to be very certain with you. We do Wealth Principle 46, Simplify Your Life, one time a year. Just 1 week. You got 1 week. Simplify all the shit that's going around. Simplify all the projects. Shut them down. Be okay with cutting your losses on a project. Look at that project and say, if this project takes away from my big project, is it okay to get rid of it? Right? Now, with your children, if you got more than one children, you don't get to pick children. You got to keep all of them. Okay. We all agree? Yes. More than one child, you keep all the childs. All right. So, but if it comes down to, am I going to go spend time with my friends or I'm going to spend time with my child, my children, which one are you going to do? Does that make sense? Parents know what I'm talking about? People who've seen children before know what I'm talking about? Yeah, maybe. Excellent. It's the same thing in your business. You can't have two loves. You can't have two loves. You got one thing you love. That's it. You got one thing you love. And if that one thing is the right thing, everything else gets enough love in turn. Simplify your life. Simplify the amount of love you're putting out there. It's got to start here. If you don't love this, you don't love that person in front of the camera right now, then it's going to be very hard for you to go serve other people. You got to fall in love with you first. You fall in love with you, it makes it a lot easier to serve other people. Does that make sense? Simplify where you're going in life. You simplify your love, simplify your relationships. Simplify, go and find out what the person, everybody, hands to the camera if you got a person you love. Hands to the camera if you do. Yes. Excellent. Write down on a piece of paper, because we do examples, we do exercises. Exercises are very valuable. Write down on a piece of paper, what is the one thing you know that person loves more than anything else? Simplest thing you could do today. Simplest thing that you know they love, like absolutely love. They're like, ooh, I love it when you do that. Like, that's cool. Okay, I love that part. All right, write that one little thing down. Doesn't cost much time or energy, which the only two currencies there are. In reality, money is just another form of time anyway. But we'll talk about the fiat currency of money, right? Because time is the only true currency. If it takes just a little bit of your time and a little bit of energy and a little bit of money, then it's worth doing it for that person. Does that make sense? Just like this right now is recharging you, preparing you for the rest of the week, preparing you for the rest of the year. I don't put Simplify Your Life at the beginning of the year for a reason, right? I don't put it at the beginning of the year because we got to go increase income. That is top priority. But simplifying your life, it comes once a year. Simplify everything. Cut out the garbage. And if you think maybe this might be garbage, it is. If it even crosses your mind that this might be something I'm not going to do next year, declutter your house. Go through your house and say, look, how does this serve me? Have you touched this in a year? If you haven't touched it in a year, burn it. Like, get rid of it. Sell it, right? Who needs a little extra income, right? I didn't talk about selling your stuff the other day, but like, if you got some stuff in your house you haven't touched in a year, just sell it. Get rid of it. There is nothing in that house that you need outside of your cell phone, your keys, and your wallet, the clothes on your back, and you can survive. Ask me how I know. I have been there and I've had to live off of the things that I had. Does that make sense? And I did just fine. Did just fine. When I travel, Dorina knows, when I travel, backpack. That's it. I don't need much. A couple of t-shirts, got to get the underwear and the socks and a couple pairs of pants. But when I travel, I can buy everything else. And if I run out of clothes, I'll just buy more clothes, right? Run with a couple $100, right? You can travel really light when you've got a little extra cash in your pocket. Does that make sense? Simplify. The lighter you are, the easier life is. I carry 2 cell phones. Does anybody know why I carry 2 cell phones? Has anybody heard me tell the story of why I carry 2?
You like phones?
No, I can't stand phones. I like technology. I like getting things done. I like results. And so the iPhone sometimes does not do the things that the Android does do. So sometimes there's an issue with the processor, the system that works behind the Android or works behind the iPhone. And so when something doesn't work, I want a quick response. So I use the other one. And when somebody's calling me and I can't get the stupid screen to stop their name from showing up on my phone, I just switch over to the other phone that nobody has. Does that make sense? So I have a laptop, I have a work phone, and then I have a talkie phone that I never talk on. Right. So my phone, when I go and I actually pick up or when I call somebody, my phone's like, "Are you sure? Like we haven't done this in a while. What's going on here?" The reason is the operating systems are different. But in order for me to run without a laptop, I had to have both operating systems because some apps just don't work on the iPhone. Some apps just don't work on the Android. But with both phones, I have access to everything. Does that make sense? With the exception of very, very, very few things. The Android goes into desktop mode easier than the iPhone. It just is what it is. Where my Android users at? Answer the camera if you're an Android user. Hell yeah. Let's give them a hell yeah. Represent. Okay. Well, my Google Analytics tells me that 75% of my viewers are iPhone users. So where are my iPhone users at? Hands to the camera if you represent the iPhone. Let's give Steve Jobs a round of applause. It's awesome. I stole some quotes from the great Steve Jobs in the book. I've started every chapter with a quote, and I had to simplify, right? Simplify. I only got 20 chapters in this book, and one of them had to be my quote. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. So I only got 19 quotes that I could pick, and I am a man of quotes. I live off of quotes. I once was accused that if I had a conversation that didn't quote something out of a book, I probably wasn't opening my mouth. I was probably just listening. And at that point, they were actually, I think they were attempting to be offensive. But all I took that as was a compliment. Who here would take that as a compliment? And Terry, you got something going on your computer over there. There's like a little bit of background noise or something that's happening every so often. Do you see what it is? Identify the. Oh, I see you, bro. Well, I don't want you muted. I like the dialogue we have.
Not sure what it
Terry
is.
Wager, round of applause, Coach Terry Wager. Simplify your life. We're going to do an example of how to simplify your money. Look at and pull up. So some of you have complex money systems, just like me. Some of you have complex money systems where you've got maybe 26 of these bad Larrys. You got 26 credit cards out there. Maybe you've got a bunch of mortgages. Maybe you have a bunch of student loan debt. Some of you have private loans. Some of you have car loans. Some of you have multiple car loans. There's a way to organize it all and simplify it all. And the path to doing that is going into your bank account, going into your credit card statements and pulling it all. Pull it all, take a look, and find out what is suspect. What is no longer adding value to your life? The other day I pulled mine up. I looked and I saw Audible. I was like, damn, you pulled another $15 out of my account? That's it? I really thought I bought more books right now. So I went and I bought a few more books to make sure that I was spending appropriately. Does that make sense? Invest in yourself. It's a good investment. And then I looked and I saw Pandora and I thought, okay, I listen to a lot of music when I'm writing the book. So Pandora gets to stay for me. It's something that motivates me, keeps me going at 6:00 in the morning. Excellent investment in myself. All right. And then I saw stuff like Ring Central and some other old accounts, things I don't use anymore. I had Bold Leads, I had Real Geeks. There was some money that was coming out of the account. I did this about a year ago, and it was $200, $300, $400. It added up. There was one that was $500 every month coming out, and I made some phone calls the next day. Does that make sense? I said, yeah, we're all set. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nope. Moving on. Even Mojo. I cut Mojo the other day. I don't make the calls that I used to make. I don't jump on Mojo and I don't dial the way I used to dial. Now I hit them up on Messenger and then they call me and we do it via Zoom. And that's how the podcast operates. And in fact, I don't even do that much of it anymore. I think Dorena does more. She gets more valuable people on the podcast than I do. Let's give Dorena a round of applause. She does. She nailed Rod Cleef. So Rod is scheduling. His people are talking to my people, essentially, is what this is. His people are talking to my people. We're going to get Rod on the podcast for episode 100. So as I record more episodes of Alchemist Nation podcast, which are going up on gualtermerillo.com, I am saving episode 100 for Rod Cleef. I will not post anything else until he's on. Is that okay that I delay so he gets episode 100? Excellent. You got to make the right people feel special. I don't have to cold call. I can cold text message. I can cold messenger. I can cold email. I can cold call. But I know that if I send them, warm them up a little bit with something, if I go and like their posts for a week, if I go and comment and share on what they're doing out there, the people I'm looking for, the people who I want attention from, that's what they perceive as valuable. Remember, I speak to people who are on stage as big audiences, my dream 100, the people who have the audience that I'm looking to attract. So when you're looking at building your dream 100, your 100 millionaires, look around and say, who do I have to remove first? Simplify your friends list. Get rid of broke people, broke energy, broke love, broke emotions, broke mentality. Get rid of all the people who are just bringing you down, draining you. Clear it up. Simplify your life. It is time to simplify. You've got 1 week to take action on this. After this, it's back to the grind. It's back to building up, back to floating on the cloud and letting everything else work itself out. Let your debt pay itself down. But today, this week, you put a debt payment plan in place. Put something in place to simplify. Cut out every corner. You should see every corner in your house. When I worked at Walmart, they used to tell us corners are deadly because corners collect shit. They're just stuff. Like you see a corner, it's like, I'll just put it over there. Right? Doesn't fit on the shelf, I'll just put it over there. Doesn't fit here, I'll just put it in the corner. Closets, clean them out. Get rid of stuff. It'll make you feel better. Clear up your car. Go into the car, vacuum it, clear it up. You got a week. You got 1 week. I'm telling you, it's okay to not make money this week. It's okay to just put money on hold. Any money that's coming through, just put it out there. Customer service it, but you don't got to go grind and grab new money yet. This week, you simplify. Start from a fresh base. You're going into the holidays. Your family's coming over. You want to make sure they see something nice. Maybe you're going to their house. You want to go back to your house and make it nice. Maybe you're staying at your house via Zoom. Spend time with the family. Keep those corners clean. You want to be able to look around and feel better. Clean your desk. Clear your desk off. Clear off your energy sucks. Clear off your Facebook. Clear off your main screen. Make sure that this says something that moves you forward. Simplify it. Make sure it makes sense. I can, I will, I am. Simple. It's motivation. It's hypnosis. I hypnotize myself every single day. Every single day, I'm under the influence. Every single day I go out there. Yeah, Ryan got it. There you go, Kim. Every single day I'm under the influence I choose to be an influence, to be an inspiration, to be somebody who is more motivated than they were the day before. All right, Sandra, we'll come back to it. Hang on there. Every single day I wake up and I say, well, who am I today? Who do I decide to be today? What am I working on today? How can I tweak? What can you work on today? Where is it? What is that change that you can make? What is that thing that you can do that simplifies your life, that makes your mission stronger? It wasn't until our branding expert, Crystal Dixon, said, you kind of got a lot going on. There's a lot going on with your brand. You got this real estate alchemist, 100 millionaires. Point is not to work. Agent Alchemist. What is Agent Alchemist? Where does this come in? You got all these things all over the place. Why your courses there? Get the money, get the deal, get the attention. I got something. We get there. I see something. What are you doing? You know, a confused mind says no. I say that all the time in sales. A confused mind says no. And once we simplified the brand, I said, well, if I had to get rid of all of them, if I had to clear this up 100%, what's the one I would keep? What's the one that inspires me the most? What's the one when I say it, I don't have to explain it? And when I said 100 millionaires the first time to somebody else, they got chills. When I said 100 millionaires to another millionaire, they're like, I'm in. Right? Whenever I say it on the podcast, they're like, yep, sign me up. Sounds good. Let's do it. And so when I said 100 millionaires to you, even now, if I say you're going to be one of the 100 millionaires who inspires 100 millionaires, who gets excited just thinking about it? Just thinking about knowing you're a part of something big. And that's how you know it's the one. That's how you know it's the one, when you're not the only person getting excited about it. Because I got excited about all my brands. I thought I was just, I'm like, hey, I made it up. I'm fancy. Look at me. Alchemist this, Alchemist that. I'm with it. But it wasn't until I simplified and said, we're going after 100 millionaires. And we're going to call it Alchemist Nation. And that's what this is. It's a nation of alchemists, people who understand what alchemy is, like Julie was talking about earlier. People who understand how to help other people make money. If you can help other people make money, then you get their money too. So the more they earn, the more you get a little piece of. Rockefeller said, I don't want to earn 100% of my effort. I want to earn 1% off of 100 people's efforts. And if you can earn 1% off of 1,000,000 people's efforts, excellent, even better. The idea is that in order to get rich, you've got to simplify your life and focus on one thing. There's a book, the movie called City Slickers. I think Mike Shine was the one who suggested I watch the movie. And who's watched the movie City Slickers knows what it's about. So Darina pushed me to watch it. She definitely pushed me to watch it because it's got horses involved. And so I was like, I don't want to watch a movie full of furry animals that are just like getting ridden all day. It just reminds me of like, it just seems like a job for these poor horses. You know, I'm empathizing. And then I see that the guys riding the horses are having a way harder time than the horse. And it made the movie a little more fun for me. And then you got this Indian guy who goes and he preaches this principle of one thing. And that really, really resonated with a lot of the books I've read. You know, The One Thing by Gary Keller, The Compound Effect, just about any book on success. You think about the 5 foundational books, right? The one thing comes up, it shows up over and over. So you have to have a burning desire. You have to want it bad enough. And it's really hard to go after something that you want bad enough if you want other things. Does that make sense? Mike Shine, he turned me on to this saying when we were talking about stocks. Who knows that me and Mike, we do a podcast every week called 100 Millionaires podcast. That is 100% what rich people do. We just talk about how to make more money, how to get richer, how to help you guys. Like, that's just what we jump on and we're like, hey, what's your idea this week? Also, since we're getting together, what's the penny stock you're looking at? Because I could throw some money in a good investment if there's enough variable there that makes me feel like it could work out. This past week, we learned about cryptocurrency. Mitch Jaworski brought his partner in for Leo Finance, and we learned about crypto and how all that works. Who got to watch this week's episode of the 100 Millionaires podcast? Awesome. I'll be dropping that later, either this weekend or earlier in the week. So it'll be on YouTube and be available to everybody. That podcast is fun for me. It's literally just a way for me to hang out with Mike, but it also is a huge value. And afterwards, I've had people message me and say, man, like, that was cool. Like, I didn't know that. That's an interesting investment strategy. Sue Duvall, the other day when we met her in person, which, by the way, give Sue a round of applause. She paid for the mentorship in silver, in beautiful 10 ounce. She paid us 21 ounces of silver. Give Sue a round of applause. She drove 2 hours to smoke a cigar with me, to hang out with me and Darina. Drove 2 hours to hand us a bag of silver and give us an idea of what's going on in her life and tell us why she wants to be in the mentorship, what she's done and where she's been. And it was a really, really cool experience. Give Sue a round of applause. She's an amazing person, amazing to have her in the mentorship. Can we grasp that the simpler life is, the more I have time to do the things that I enjoy. I enjoyed that conversation. Can I do it every day with every student? No. The goal is to have 1 million students. So at some point, somebody else has to be able to go do those conversations. But what Sue said in the 100 Millionaires was about the 100 Millionaires podcast was she mentioned that our buddies, Mitch Jaworski and Mike Shine, were making fun of me because I was having a spelling error day. And first it was 100 million, what was it, millionaires? I spelled it wrong. Millionaires. It was Italian.
Millionaires.
Millionaires. And then after I fixed that, turns out it was still the podcast. So I must have been making those backgrounds at midnight. And then even as I was attempting to clean it up on the 100 Millionaires podcast live while I was letting them talk, I still left podcast on there for the rest of the episode. So Sue called it out. She caught it. And it's those little things, like she said, it just makes you more real. Look, we're real. We're here. Yeah, we're rich, but you wouldn't tell if you saw me out anywhere unless you saw me wearing my brand, 100 Millionaires. If you saw me wearing the 100 Millionaires shirt, you'll look at it, and people who are interested in joining the mission, they say, what's that about? They come in quick. It's polarizing. It's fast. It's a quick result. That's why the 100 is so big and Millionaires is so bold. It's so that when somebody sees you wear that shirt, they don't have a choice but to wonder what that is. And if there's somebody who'd be right for the mission, they'll do what it takes to come over and say hi to you. I know this because I've been walking before and had people look. I've had gangsters, these thugs, look and be like, and then I walked by before and they're like, hey man, I just got to ask. And I've also had an old lady in an airport, a hotel, me and Doreen were there. And the old woman, I think I've told the story before. She said, what's that about? And I said, oh, I help people become millionaires. I'm a millionaire myself. I help people become millionaires. And I think it's the right ethical thing to do. And she's like, oh, I just got scared of the money. Polarizing. It's like cigars. Like some people see me smoke a cigar. They're like, dude, let's go. Like, let's sign up. I'm in. Other people are like, oh no, it's got a smell. I'm not interested. That's okay. I just want to smoke a cigar. And if somebody wants to join me, I'll enjoy the company. But if not, I'm okay with it. That's what the cigar is for. It's for me to enjoy the moment with my mind, embracing life and being grateful for the things that I do have, which is a great community. Well, the 100 Millionaires shirt, the podcast, this right here, we're talking about wealth. I put 52 weeks to wealth in there for a reason. I put millionaire principles, 52 millionaire principles, because it scares small minds. It scares small people away. It's very polarizing. I don't get the wrong people in. Like nobody messages me that's looking to stay broke. Does that make sense? I get I've cut them out completely. I used to get these, hey man, that's cool. What you're doing seems cool. Like, what are you doing? And then I'd be like, oh, you got to do this. And I'd be like, oh yeah, it seems like a lot of work. Now, when somebody messages me, it's, hey, I'll do whatever it takes. Like, what do you suggest? Like, that's what it starts with. It's whatever it takes. They already know the secret. They already know the secret. Even if they don't know the secret, they know the secret. It's whatever it takes. When you put out there that you're looking to do big things, you attract big people. When you put out there you're looking to do small things, well, I guess it just doesn't matter who you attract. You'll just attract anybody. Be polarizing in your life. Simplify. Cut down all the distraction. When you can be clearly identified in a single sentence. When I was building my real estate brokerage, is it okay if I tell a story? One more story before we dive into the book of the week and then the questions. It's a Christmas special, right? This is the Christmas special. Make it a little bit longer. And by the way, next week and the week after, same time on every single thing that we do. I will be there no matter what, whether none of you show up or just Dorina shows up or just Ron shows up. I will be there. So all courses on, game on. Do not feel bad if you miss something. I record everything. Is it okay? Is it valuable that I record everything? Awesome. When I was growing up as a real estate agent, when I was looking to be successful, I made sure that everybody knew who I was and where I was, and that I invested in how many cities? One city. When I was grinding, when I was hustling, I don't care where I was. I was not the real estate agent of the city I was in. I was the real estate agent of Fall River. So I simplified. And then I cut down even further. I said, well, there's a lot of people in Fall River. There's 700 agents who service this area. So What can I do? Bristol County is kind of big. I'm not Bristol County. I'm not anything but Fall River. I'll cut it down. And I said, I can't. There's a lot of competition, single families, a lot of competition out there. Everybody will sell a single family. Everybody will sell a condo. You know what? Nobody won't touch. Like the only the hardcore do it, and every other agent does it if they have to. Multifamily. That's a tough one. So I'll specialize in multifamily. I'll specialize in multifamily in Fall River. Does Fall River have the inventory of multifamily? Yes, most in the state. Perfect. Sign me up. So I'll specialize in Fall River. I'll specialize in multifamily. I'll get in the box. I'll get in the box. I'll get where every other agent is terrified to be. Every other investor is scared to say, I only do one city, one type of property. Investors, oh, I'll do just about anywhere. Yeah. As long as it's in my state. Yeah, even if it's out of state, just send me the deal. So I start off with, I don't give a shit where it is unless it's in Fall River. If it's not Fall River, if it's not multifamily, I'm not interested. If it's a 2-family or low, I'm not interested. I do 3-family plus. That's it. I will not look at 1-bedrooms. I don't want to see a 1-bedroom. Don't even bring it to me. But if it's 2 bedrooms and it's 3 units or more, I'm in. Does that make sense? You see how polarizing that is? When I started my brand, when I started going around, my hashtag was Fall River. My hashtag was make it here. My hashtag was invest with the best. It was never stop moving. My hashtags were simplified, multifamily, cash flow, passive income, financial freedom. Very, very simple. I was going after one thing. I was going after investors. I had a very clear mindset of where I was going. So when I was in Boston, you know what they called me? That's the Fall River guy. When I was in Providence, you know what they called me? The Fall River guy. When I'm at any family party, do you know what they say about me? That's the real estate guy. Simple. I'm a simple person to put in a box. You want to be rich? You want to get a lot of money? You want people to send you business? Simplify your brand. Simplify who you are, what you do. Yes, you're unique. Yes, you're a badass. Yes, of course you do cool things. Yes, I was in a band. Of course, I did a lot of cool stuff. Yes, I lived in Vegas. Yes. Yes, I spent over $1,000 on bottles one night with a buddy of mine in Vegas. It was a good time. Do I regret it? No, mostly. Just wish I put that $1,000 into a better investment. Maybe Tesla back then. That would have been good. Yes, I invest in Tesla. Yes, Bitcoin. Yes, Mike Shine. I hang with millionaires. Some of my best friends are millionaires becoming decamillionaires, hectomillionaires. We're on a journey together. I am not shy to talk about becoming a billionaire. I am not shy about 10,000 units under our control, not mine. You know, I'm not Grant Cardone. I'm not looking to do it under one brand myself. I will simplify. I'll be the face of the company for sure. That was a commitment I made because Ron told me I had to. He said, look, if it's a bunch of faces, it's going to be hard to focus. So in your company, if you're trying to push multiple people, you may have to simplify. One face, one brand. It may be you, maybe your business partner, maybe your spouse. But if 2 of you are competing for attention, then you're going to dilute the brand. Does that make sense? One brand makes it easier. The mission had to have a face, so I put my face on it. Believe it or not, as high D as I am, as much ego and I as I am, it would be much easier for me not to have my face be the brand. It would be much easier for me just to tell people what to do because that's the D side of me. Melanie, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Ken, you know what I'm talking about? Manny, my D's. Yeah. It'd be way easier just to have somebody else go do all this stuff because then I could focus on the things that move us to the next level, telling that person what to do. But I had already built myself the skill set that it takes to do this. It took me years to get here, and I just haven't found somebody who could take this over. And so I took on the belt. I put on the challenge. I said, I'll just wear the shirt. That's fine. You've got to wear the shirt in your life. You've got to wear the brand. You've got to wear your mission, whatever it is, wherever it is. I've built one that will help you get there. Take mine for now until you find one that's better. Does that make sense? You don't have to stay forever. It's kind of like, I can't think of his name, but the guy from that movie Back to the Future where he jumps on the floating hoverboard and then he goes and grabs the truck and kind of lets that truck pull him along because it's going in a direction. It's got momentum. What's his name, Terry?
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. I knew Ryan McDermott and Terry had it. Awesome. Let's give our coaches a round of applause. They always got my back. Marty McFly, he's got the hoverboard, right? The hoverboard in and of itself has potentiality, has potential just like you, has the potential to get moving. And then the truck had momentum. It already was going. It already was going somewhere. That's what the 100 Millionaires is. 100 Millionaires is a mission. It's a movement. It's got something in a direction that's already taken course. And if it's going where you want to go, hang on, jump on, enjoy, be a part of it. Wear the brand, promote, support, bring people in, add value to their lives, take on the mission. And if at any point it turns in a direction that is no longer where you want to go, be thankful for the energy that it gave you and move in your own direction powerfully. Having picked up the momentum from that movement, having picked up the knowledge from those people, having picked up the energy from what you learned there, the things that will last the rest of your life, this extra level of energy, we agree every single week we become better. Every single week, even though it's just one principle, one small principle at a time, we apply it to our lives and become a little richer in health, wealth, and our relationships. Is it okay that as we get richer, we have better relationships? Is that okay? Is it okay that as we get richer, we end up in better health? We're happier. We're more motivated. We're more smiling. We're adding more value to the world. Is it okay that as we get richer, we get to keep some of that money and invest it in ways that we like? I'll be honest. I just like this stuff. Silver just makes me feel special, right? Some guys like to wear gold chains around their neck. And I was talking to one yesterday, really nice guy who's in the building here. And he was like, yeah, like the jewelry price this is not worth what I paid for it, right? If you go just for the gold price, it's not worth that. This is worth what I paid for it. And if spot price goes up, this is worth more. Does that make sense? So yeah, maybe sometimes I do show off a little bit, but it's an asset. It's something that inspires the people around you. It's something that will move people forward. It's okay sometimes. Simplify your life. Simplify the things you spend your money on. Now, I'm not saying not to enjoy things. And Mike Shine's going to talk a little bit about it when he talks about the book of the week, Set for Life. You got to enjoy things. I see my buddy Patrick Sullivan on there. Just dropped over $1,000. I think $2,000 on his setup, right? Because he's got a podcast and he's looking to take his business to the next level, looking to coach people more and help people move forward. So he's like, yeah, spend $2,000, like whatever, no big deal. And it's not the $2,000, it's the $4,000. Oh, whatever. It's just small money, right? Give Patrick a round of applause. So sometimes he spends his money, he invests his money, but it's things that move him forward, make him happy, right? Look, I could with all of this brain power up here, I could probably remember names of movie stars and actors and things that happen in movies and football plays and sports memorabilia, sports events. But I remember that Patrick before, and I hadn't seen him for over a year, but I remember that he had a hot air balloon company, that he owned a bunch of real estate, that he was a hustler and a grinder, and that he knew how to rock a Rubik's Cube. And yeah, there it is. And I remembered that because people are more important to me. People are more important. And so when I don't know, like, what I say is silly trivia, right? But when it comes to one of those like board games where you got to remember like actors' names and stuff, I'm not your guy. Don't call me, right? I will not be able to support you in that. Mike Shine might. He says he can. All right, Mike, you're my partner in any one of those games. But if you want to know how to evaluate a deal, if you want to know how to evaluate yourself, if you want to know how to get to the next level, you want to put a strategy in place. If you want to know how to raise capital, you want to know how to get to living where you are. So, oh yeah, I wanted to say this last night. I was thinking about this. I am exactly where I want to be today. Like really, and like in a lot of ways today. Very special day for me. I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm in Florida in December. I was here in November. I'm with the girl that I've always wanted to be with, who supports my mission, who wants to build more people, who wants to take it to the next level, who when I say, I don't know about buying more real estate, she says, but babe, what else would we do? I really want more units. I'm right here hanging out with a community that I always dreamed could exist. People who are like-minded, wanted to grow, wanted to expand themselves. Something that I did not know existed, but I dreamed it first. I believed that it could exist. I believe there were people like me out there who just wanted to grow each other, build with each other, and see each other do well and just focus on living a better life. And up until 6 o'clock this morning, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. but I also finished the book that I said I would do in December. And so I'm literally right where I want to be, because I always set the goal and I always accomplish my goal. Whatever I say I'm going to do, I do it. Plain and simple. Every year, and write it down. Every year, I double my income. Every year, I double my net worth. This is an affirmation. When you say it, you do it. Whatever it takes, as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral. Every year, I improve the relationships I have. Every year, I improve my skills, my communication skills. Every year, I double the amount of people I'm affecting. And more recently, I told Ron, I was like, with technology, I don't think doubling is enough. I think that I can do more. I think that honestly, with technology, with the way things are, I could probably double every quarter. And that's probably more realistic for where we're at this point. Is it okay that you got to go slow in the beginning until you figure it out? But at some point, the compound effect turns and you get past that critical point, the event horizon, where suddenly things move much faster, significantly faster, in a way that it's tough to explain unless you've been there, but you've probably seen it in other parts of your life. Has this been valuable so far? Excellent. Mike Shine, the book of the week.
Oh, thanks, Gwalter. So, Gwalter and I have talked about this book because if you're in the mentorship, you know that there's a foundational 5. And then if you add Gwalter's book, Broke to $250,000, that's become kind of 6. This one, I think, would be book 0. Let's give a little round for Broke to $250,000, first of all. And nice job, Gwalter.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. This plug brought to you by Fazenda Coffee, my brother's coffee. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, he's not kidding. His brother does sell Fazenda Coffee, so for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but I cannot say enough good things about Set for Life. I had a conference with Jamie yesterday, who just, by the way, passed the Massachusetts bar, which is awesome. Unfortunately, she has to be in Temple this morning, so she can't be on the Saturday morning calls. But anyways, and we were talking, and she was reading this book because she's an attorney. Great book for all attorneys out there, Paula Miller, if you want to read this book too. And I think Alan Knowles is also an attorney, so recommend this book. But anyway.
And John Crusidon as well.
Yep, John as well. Awesome. But I said to her, text Walter and say, hey, Mike Shine thinks you should put down the E-Myth for attorneys and pick up Set for Life first and see what Walter has to say. So I don't know if she did that or not.
Oh, she did it.
Nice. And what'd you say?
I told her, I was like, you know what? I respect Mike Shine's opinion. And because he's also an attorney, I will agree with him that you should read Set for Life first, because it's going to get your whole mindset right for the rest of your life. And that's a very good place to start. Yeah. And then we're going to focus on your money with the E-Myth real estate attorney. And I told her, I was like, look, honestly, that's why I love that you collaborate. She went back to me as well. And so I'm glad you collaborated between me and Mike. I absolutely agree with his assessment. So great job, Mike.
Yeah. So anybody who's just starting out this program or just starting out buying properties, oh my God, Scott Trench, Set for Life, started 20 years old buying real estate. By 27, he had retired, had enough passive income to pay all his bills that his active income had paid before. And now he sits as the CEO of Bigger Pockets. And he's right around Walter's age. So he's a rock star, and he's also a C. You know, I don't hear too much from Ron Bowling, but when I recommended this to Ron came back. He was just so excited about this book, Set for Life. And it's probably because Scott is a C, like Ron's a C. And so, yeah, it's an amazing book. I recommend it as book 0, actually, for this program. That's my little aside. But yeah, Set for Life, Scott Trench. I put the link in there. And that's it. That's the review of the week. Read it.
There you go. Mike Shine. Let's give him a round of applause. Very, very valuable every week. Mike gives us a book, and it is tremendous. For those of you who haven't seen it, I have been updating the website. Who knows that I've been poring over the website. I've been learning things. My buddy Patrick Sullivan literally messaged me once a week. It says, your website looks like shit. You need to fix this. And I am, by the way, very thankful for Patrick and all of his advice, and Mitch Durfee and some of the other people who've messaged me. Jackson has to be by far the person who has tested this website more than anybody else, not just the website, but my YouTube channel and videos that we have out there. So thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Jen, for letting me know a few things were broken the other day. So anything that you guys do notice, anything you see out there, I appreciate it. I am directly responsible for the output of my company, of our company, of this mission. And so whether or not I go and fix it personally, I know who's responsible. Does that make sense? So it's okay to text me those things. And what I have been doing is I noticed, Patrick's a millionaire himself. And I said, you know what, if Pat's willing to go and learn these things, I should probably go learn these things. And so I've been diving into WordPress and figuring it out and going deep into the plugins and discovering how all this works. And I'm actually really happy that I did, because the more I do it, the more I realize there's more tools out there that I can provide that I haven't provided. And so this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, as soon as I finished the book, I dove into a new program that I just downloaded called Formidable. And Formidable allows me to create forms like calculators and quizzes, personality tests, these different activities within WordPress. And I couldn't help myself. That's why I went to bed at 6:30, because I went in and I was evaluating how to build a test for a different type of mortgage calculator, different type of real estate calculator. And I haven't built them, but I know how to, and I'm working on it now on the back end. Is it okay that I spend a lot of my time building another asset? Even though I'm rich, I'm still out there working on asset number, whatever this is. At this point, I've lost track. Simplify your life. There he is, Mitch Jorsky. Mitch Jorsky, thank you so much for all the information on crypto. Man, we are crushing it now. I looked, and Mike Shine and Mitch have way more Leo coin than I do, but I have every intention of out blogging them and I am going to game this system so hard until I figure out exactly how to get more cryptocurrency than Mitch has, because Mitch has been at it way longer. And then Mitch, don't worry, when I do, I'll teach you how to pass me, because I know that's what you'll do. And that's okay. Is it all right that I compete with Mitch the same way I compete with my brother? Just push each other. Go ahead,
Game
Mitch.
on.
Game on. So, bro, just teach me. Just teach me. I'll teach you. Like, it's cool. So Leo Finance, if you haven't been in it, it is a website that actually has a lot of information about finances, and they actually are much more heavy on the crypto and the stock side. And so diving in there, I've gotten a lot of exposure to some of those elements. I'm not again, this is about simplifying your life, this whole training. I am diversifying my knowledge by going out there. I'm going into the next level. I've not mastered real estate, but I've done pretty good in where I'm at. And I've got the knowledge of where I need to go. So I'm able to diversify a little bit. 7 streams of income, write these down. And then we're going to dive into questions from the coaches. 7 streams of income. First is active income. Big money, big deals, big stuff, sales, active income. The bigger you get, the more you're in selling. The more money you want, the more valuable your product has to be, the more people you got to sell it to. Sales, number 1, active income. 2, rental properties. Rental property is my preferred choice for my second source of income, because it's easy to get when you've got a high income. When you increase your sales, increase your business, focus on your business first. You do not belong investing in real estate unless you got a steady income. Does that make sense? Everybody on the call, I don't want to get it twisted. Yes, I'm a real estate investor. Yes, I want you buying deals. But the only way I can get you to buy deals ethically and morally, we're not gonna have to go sell that property to keep it, to pay your bills, is you got to go earn some income first. So focus on your business, focus on selling, focus on increasing income via sales. Then rental property. Rent income is another form of income. And it's funny because me and Mike Shine were talking about this last night. He's like, hey, I think I found another source of income. He's like, I think if I buy those power walls, the Tesla Powerwall and the Tesla Energy, and then I sell it back to the grid, what is the process, Mike?
So you get the solar roof, and you get the power wall in your garage. And then Tesla has invented this software called auto bidder software. And so when the electricity is most valuable, it sells it up to the grid for you. And you're passively, just by sitting in your house, making money. So I think it's number 8.
So Mike thought it was number 8, but that brings us to number 3, which is called profit. Profit from a business. So Mike's talking about investing in a business that has systems and assets that make money for you. So profit is a business. Right, Mike?
It's not my business. It's just my personal home. So that's
there it is. So he's turned one of his liabilities into an asset.
Yeah,
Excellent. And the fourth one is dividends. So you have your active income, you have your rental property, you have your business that's automated providing profit, you have dividends from stocks, you can have interest from loans lended out, you can have royalties from books, products, services, your name. Is that 6? Yeah, there's another one. 3, which one am I missing? Do you remember?
Active, passive, profits.
Yeah.
Royalties.
Yeah.
Dividends.
Ron, what's the one we're getting this year? What's the big one from the sale of the properties?
Capital gains.
Capital gains. When me and Ron used to go to the gym, I used to call him. I used to say, "Back in the game, we're getting the gains, getting the gains."
It is absolutely.
And now we
And
refer
you're
to
Mr.
it as capital
Barbarian.
gains. All we're looking for is capital gains. You just keep hitting that bench, right? Get those capital gains. Capital gains is what you make from the sale of a business or the sale of an asset, sale of a piece of real estate, sale of an asset. So there are 7 streams of income. Those are the 7 streams, but they can all be done through real estate. This making sense? They could all be done through real estate. You don't need to make your 7 streams through 7 different businesses. That would be silly. Now, do I have a business that brings in 7 streams? Absolutely, of course. My rental portfolio brings in 60 different streams. What is it, Mike?
Can you repeat the 7 again? Because I only got 5.
Oh, Mike, who only has 5? Who else missed 2 of them? My high eyes. All right, Jonathan, I'm surprised. Okay, you guys are C's. All right, we'll start over. Active income. And for everybody who's at home, if you want to pay attention to what the source of income are, write it down. Active income. This is you working, sales, increased income, active. 2, rental property. So rent coming in from an asset that you own, rents. Then you have profit from a business. Profit, this is again passive, coming in from a business. Dividends, this comes in from stocks, assets that you own, paper assets, stocks pay dividends. Then you have interest. This is from a loan, loans that you pay out to people. Interest gets paid in. You have royalties. Royalties are from work that you have done, whether you sold a business, sold a brand, a book that you create, you get royalties, a franchise fee that's a royalty. And then you got capital gains. When you go and you sell something big, when you sell one of your golden geese, you get capital gains. Now remember, capital gains means you sold a golden goose, which means you should be rolling that into more geese. You should buy a gaggle with that single goose that you just sold. Does that make sense? And if you didn't know what a gaggle was, you haven't heard it in a while, you're welcome. It's been too long. Coaches, big takeaway tips for simplifying your life. We'll start with Doug McGurk from You Rock Speaking.
What's going on? So, messy bed, messy head. And that is not just your bedroom. That is just where your home is, where you spend most of your time. But really, anything you could do to clear out the clutter in your head. And if just for me, how many of y'all like me have enough voices in your head that we could have group therapy all by ourselves? Anyone? So we want to watch that in internal dialogue, that inner voice, and be sure that we're aligning with the voices that support us and silencing the ones that are not supporting us. And then by virtue surrounding ourselves like you are here with like-minded people who hold you to a higher standard, who play a bigger game, and that raises all of our games. So obviously spot on. It's not only a friendly universe, it is a friendly group in here. So give you all yourselves a hand. Very nice, very nice.
Give it up for Doug McGurk. He is the coach for learning how to speak on stage. And one of the most valuable elements of speaking on stage is making sure that you have your message very, very clear. Because a confused mind says no.
Mm-hmm. And if our mind is confused, we're just saying no to ourselves. We don't know which way to go.
100%. Who knows that at some point they've been confused and that didn't move them forward at all. Clarity is power. Just being able to recognize it, knowing that it's out there, that's going to add value to you as an individual. Terry Wager, Generator Coaching.
Yeah. Today's week, we're talking about simplifying our life. And one of the simplest ways to simplify our life is to actually increase our income. And we do that by getting out there and making sales. We want to talk to more people. We want to follow up leads. We want to connect with people and help them out by selling to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Give Terry a round of applause. I was telling Dorina last night, as we were talking about doing more real estate deals, I told her I really don't want to do small deals because it's more work for me. It's more work for Ron. I'd much rather, I think I was telling Ron as well, I'd much rather do bigger deals, maybe bring other people in, but on those bigger deals, we can afford to pay an accountant to go and do some of the pieces that Ron currently does. We can afford to pay an attorney to go and do some of the pieces that Ron currently does. And so on larger deals, there's less that he would have to do. And so for us, it just makes sense to do a little bit more math, do a little bit more research, do a little bit more relationship building, because it makes our lives simpler. That's why we do one deal a year. We just make it a bigger deal each year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and the reality is if you put a little bit more activity in now, you're going to have more passive later. And that's what's really, when you boil it down. And I find a lot of people in the beginning, they hear passive income, get attracted, and then they want passive income. So they act passive rather than take action. And so you really got to take the action to start moving forward quickly.
That is exactly why I always put the preface when I give out the book, the 4 hours, the 4-hour work week, that, hey, look, just when you read this book, go and read Sell or Be Sold right afterwards, because this book will slow you down.
Yes.
Like, this book will make you be like, I want the 4-hour work week now. I want to go on vacation now. I want to go live this life in France. What's going on? So,
if you're
like
not
Terry
first,
just
you're
said,
last is another real important one to read right after you read the 4-hour work week. If you're not first, you're last. You got to move.
Absolutely. It's about taking action. Get into that space of do, because, like, yeah, you can have passive income if you've got the assets that build it, that allow it. Just like with the website, you'll watch what we do with the website. Watch what we do.
You just muted yourself.
Watch what I'm creating, because what we're building is going to make your life better, my life better. In fact, who's going to be on the call this Thursday when we let everybody know about South Coast Capital Investments, the sale we're making, the offering, I believe it's called, an offering of 10% of the company. Who will be there? Hands to the camera if you're going to be there this Thursday at 6 p.m. Excellent. Even if you don't invest, it's good to learn how somebody does an offering. Does that make sense? Excellent. So at the offering, I'll be using the tools on my website. Does anybody guess why they're on my website? Because they're my tools for me to use. I just put them in a place that's simple for me to get to, because I work off of this all the time. And I discovered that my compound interest calculator, not the compound interest calculator, that the real estate calculator for multifamily doesn't work on the phones. And so I apologize. If you are trying to use it right now, you've got to go to desktop mode, and desktop mode will make the rental property calculator work. I am working with my developer to make sure that going forward, that app does work. But if you're there this Thursday, if you are there this Thursday and learn how South Coast Capital Investments is being valued and what other elements we're working on, then you will see that I use the calculators that I have right there on the website. You will learn how to present an offer to a future investor using the calculators that I have on the website, tools for you to use. Is that cool? Excellent. Very good. I'm very interested in having each and every one of you there. I'm very interested in allowing you to invest in our company. And the reason being is I'm not going to go buy a lot of deals with each and every one of you. I'm just going to do my one big deal that I do every year. And I'm going to crush it. And I'm going to make sure that you guys have a little piece so that you can get more excited about the mission. The way I see it is as we continue to expand this mission, I can't do it alone. I can't do it by myself. I need more people involved. I need people who are motivated, who I can inspire on how to do it. Each one of you has a talent. Each one of you has a skill. Each one of you has something that you can deliver on some level, some way, somehow to me, the mission, or the other people in this community, where however you do that, you're going to gain more value. And for everybody who does take on the mission, I appreciate you. You deserve every dollar that comes your way. You deserve every high five, every hug, every thank you for being you that you get every single day. Carrying on with the coaches who do dedicate a lot of their time. Mitch Jorsky, what is your lesson? What's
up,
tip?
buddy?
What's up, bro?
Well,
I'm gonna pass you and Leo, bro. Just watch me. I'm coming.
Good old Leo. Rap Leo and Leo. Well, full disclosure, I missed a lesson. So,
well, what have you done recently to simplify your life, Mitch?
I already know the topic, and I already have plenty of answers. So, no, that is something that I think can be personal to each person, and like for me, it's something super simple. It's just like leveraging systems, really leveraging technology and those systems you can use to streamline just your schedule, and for me, that's something that I'm slowly doing, and it's kind of embarrassing that I still haven't done it given I am where I am, but that is something I'm improving, and I'm using technology to do that, because by streamlining, using systematization, you get rid of a lot of the noise, a lot of the clutter, a lot of the little details that you otherwise would be handling manually. That just adds to the messiness. It eats up more time than you think it eats up. So that's just my simple feedback because it's personal to me. And I agree with Galter in terms of the tools and things that resources you offer to people. It started with, I needed it for me. And that's just like, we know I got my calculator on my website. I put that on my website for me, for my convenience. And I'm like, well, hell, now everyone can use it. Here you go. Have at it. So that I got amused when you said that. I was like, I feel you, brother. I feel you.
Mitch, we got to get you more calculators on the Scaredy Cat guide. I think that I saw in there that you can actually have the ticker for the different currencies. Like you can actually have those created. So, different Bitcoin, Ethereum, like all that, you can actually get on your website, little tickers. There's so many different value adds that you can put on the site. And so Mitch's rental property calculator is at scaredycatguide.com. And it is by far the superior calculator if you're looking to do a rental property, if you're looking to do a small rental property, a flip. Phenomenal calculator. The calculator that I have on my site is more for large deals, and it's not going to evaluate. It's not going to tell you if the price you're getting at is a good deal or not. It's going to tell you what to offer. So it has an output based on income. It doesn't tell you, there's no place for you to put in the current asking price. Does that make sense? It's geared towards just offer price. So you can't go in there and try to figure out what your property's worth. You've got to go in. Well, you could. It's designed to tell you what to put an offer in on. So they're very different calculators. And Mitch, I'm looking to see if I can get, so the calculators that we're getting, I'd like to be able to get it so the emails get forwarded to you. So you get, when somebody goes and puts in an information on the calculator, you can get a notification. So you can help them analyze those deals, reach out and make sure that they understand what they're doing. Give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. He is a tremendous coach and value add to the community. Ryan McDermott, what would you say? I'm doing good, bro.
Good. Well, this lesson really spoke to me because simplifying your life, getting the things out of your house that aren't important, it speaks directly to me. And while, I've been doing this, I've been sort of simultaneously taking action. I have found, I've got a power strip here. I've got a paper clip. I have literally 4 flashlights in here. And, I've got a screwdriver that should be in a toolbox. And this is a metaphor. It's a metaphor for what we see with our clients when we start with them. Before we can get into the really cool stuff about how to grow your wealth, you need to address your financial junk drawer. We all have one. It's not your fault. The financial system basically perpetrates you to have a financial junk drawer. And again, not your fault, but you do need to address it if you're really going to grow wealth and be an entrepreneur. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Not only is he my favorite financial advisor, he's also got his Series 7, which is just cool to say. Like, I just like saying he's got a Series 7. That is essentially what a financial advisor is, but but Ryan is an ethical, moral one. So he's not trying to sell any other product. He literally just looks at your evaluation and says, okay, this is what you could do here. This is what I would do here. It really depends on your risk tolerance, and he encourages real estate investing. So Ryan is A-OK with me. And you get access to him in the mentorship program, which I have not sold, which, by the way, I apologize. The mentorship program is $1,000. It is going up in price January, end of December. So I apologize in advance. We did run a little discount, and we realized that people do like discounts. But I also realized that we have been underselling this for a long time now. And so we're just upping the price just a little bit, $2,000 to get into the mentorship. Is that a lot? Who thinks that's a lot? Answer the camera if that seems like a lot. Awesome. Yeah. Thank God you got in when you did, huh? Awesome. Awesome. Great job of taking action. For everybody else, I apologize. It does get more expensive as we go. That is kind of the process because we continuously add more to it. We will come up with a version that is $1,000, but it will not be as labor intensive as the one that we're doing right now. Does that make sense? It may be a little less hands-on, but it will still come around. But for now, until we've figured it out, until we've built that asset, we do have to increase the price. Once we've built that asset, we'll get it to the point where we can run something for $1,000, maybe even something for $500. Who knows? They could get their friends in if there was $500. Excellent. Okay, so we will work on that product. As always, we're always looking to shrink it. It's just that, just like Tesla, he had to go build a Roadster first. It's easier to expand your mission when you have a higher ticket item and can raise capital faster. And so it does make sense to have higher ticket, bigger items and then simplify and go down to the cheaper. Books are the hardest asset for me to make. They literally take me a year, 6 months to build. So they are the most affordable for other people, but man, they are hard to create. Does that make sense? Whereas a coaching program for a multi-millionaire is just me hunting for property and explaining what to do. That I could do any day from anywhere. Does that make sense? Very simple, just time intensive. Takes time, but I can do it on the go. I can get paid up front for that. Nobody's paid me up front to go write a book yet. Still working on that. If you find somebody looking to pay, I'll collect the check. No problem. Mike Shine, you're up. Oh, hold on, Mike. So I don't get in trouble. Darina, your lesson, your biggest takeaway.
Thank you. Thank you. Simplify your life.
And Mike, thank you, by the way.
I thank you guys for the energy. It's pretty cool, and especially while you're kind of missing what's happening in the chat. There's a lot going on. But simplify the life. I can tell that the lesson is powerful, as well as the book. And what I would suggest is to take a look at your inventory in the house and in your finances, because there's so many things you can declutter. And what is really necessity, maybe not a necessity. Look at your subscriptions. What can you get rid of? Is a new dress or new pants really a necessity? Or like, look at your closet. Like, you have a lot of clothes. You don't need these things that you thought. It's just a habit of spending, a habit of subscribing. But if you break it down, there will be so many $5, $10, $20 expenses adding up to $300-400 a month, and that's man, you can sign up for a course. You can uh, fly to see a speaker, or you can buy a book. There are so many other things you can do with those extra cluttered expenses or subscriptions you forgot about. So simplify on what you really need, and the rest it goes into savings, or it goes into different accounts that stay there until you have an investment to make. And like we finally got our whiteboards, you can see behind me. But Walter's like, we're gonna simplify. So that cardboard behind me is actually just a package, but we're gonna use it for vision board to do the pinpoint. So we are saving $100 right there, because that's a vision board, and we didn't have to buy it. We just figured out, okay, this is what it came with. It's perfect. It's thick enough so you can actually. And if you want to spend money, go to Home Depot, buy $2 cardboard, break it apart, put it on the wall, and you can have your wonderful, beautiful vision board versus like buying the whole thing in Home Goods for $100. No, you don't need that. Make it simple. So I guess that's kind of like the idea. Declutter before the new year and start the new year fresh with no noise, no like clothes that you like. Make a gift for someone when for Christmas. There's so much clothes that you're not wearing. Make a gift for someone. Donate. Clear this up. I do have Ryan 4 or 5 flashlights too. So like, why do I need it? And that's just the one thing. There's too many things at the same time that we don't need. So make it simple and clean your desk, clean your subscriptions. That's my takeaway. Thank
Give
you.
Dorina a round of applause. Phenomenal advice. Dorina is proof that I have simplified my life. There was a point I was dating 6 women at once, and I'll tell you what, my love was a little diversified. It was not as strong as it could have been. And so with Dorina, I had decided, you know what? And this is how all simplification happens. I'm just going to focus on the one that makes the most sense, the one that adds value in everything. And so clearly, if the 6 I were with were not the ones, then I had to remove them to make room for the one. The reason I couldn't get her in before was because I always kept a couple around. So there wasn't what she was too valuable. There wasn't enough room for how much value she delivered. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I brought it around. That's right.
It took 3 years, but
Took me 3 years, but hey, whatever. Long-term investment. Long-term investment. That's all right. So Mike Shine says it to me all the time when we're talking about stocks. You can't kiss all the girls. No FOMO, right? Don't worry. Like, yeah, there's 7,000 stocks out there. You can't invest in all of them. There's a lot of real estate out there. You can't buy every house. There's a lot of coaches out there. You can't sign up with every coach. There's a lot of mentorship programs, a lot of masterminds. There's a lot of ways to invest your money. You can't spend it all everywhere. You only get one at a time. You only get one thing that's going to move you forward. When you're in this program, move forward with this program. When you're done with this program, find a better program. Keep moving, keep growing. But when you're in one thing, books, I don't believe in the dabbler. Like, do you know how hard it was? I got all the awards in Audible. Who knows that Audible has these different awards in there? Yeah. I got all of them except for Dabbler. Could not nail it. I can't start a book and not finish it. When I start something, I finish it and then I move on to the next thing. No matter what my mind says, my mind wants to go try other things, but I'm like, no. If I stop the thing I'm in, I may lose momentum. I may lose what I'm doing. I've just got to finish this first, then I'll move on to the next. Simplify what you're doing. You're much more powerful when you focus. You're much more authentic when you're present. You're much more real when you care. Mike Shine, piece of advice. I got to get out of here. I'm meeting my buddy Alton. Who knows Alton is in the mentorship program? Excellent. We're going to go meet up to grab some silver today over at the local silversmith shop. Buy some of this stuff. You know what this one says on it? Where is it at? It says OPM. OPM right on. I saw that. I said, I got to get that one. That is my coin. Other people's motivation. That's what the M stands for. Other people's motivation. You guys motivate me. That's what keeps me going. Mike Shine, my man.
Gotta follow that. You and your 6 girlfriends. Holy shit.
You
And
told me to
Mike,
stop kissing them all.
Mike, whenever he tells these stories, I kind of just want to like call my mom and like feel good about life again. No.
I
Now,
talked to my mom yesterday.
so a lot of my wife and I, we've been married for 19 years. We have 5 kids, and personally, we have a basement that is filled with stuff, and we are working very hard to declutter. So my first piece of advice, if you don't have kids yet, or if you don't have a lot of kids yet, is to not let the clutter build up, because 10 years in this house, or 12 years now, of just stuff that we need to donate, get rid of, that's just an extra job. And what Brenda and I have realized is that this, even though it's physical clutter, like toys for the kids and things like that, it actually stops the flow of energy. So it's just a feeling or sensation, because Brenda's done such a great job in the last 6 months to clear it out, that we feel lighter, we feel better, and just more energy, just because we got rid of this crap. So, if you get Christmas gifts and the kids aren't using them 6 months later, donate them right then. Don't let it pile up to like 10 years. And just on the book and the mental side, everything we're talking about, I see this in all the books. I see it in The One Thing by Gary Keller. I posted Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. When he tells you to go on an index card, he says, just pick one thing and write that on an index card and read it every day, a bunch of times a day. So either read the book, Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret. It's like 60 pages long, and I think it's actually only 30 pages. Or just go to YouTube and listen to him talk. That Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret will blow your mind. It's amazing. And that is also about simplifying, and also even The Science of Getting Rich, one of our foundational 5. He talks about, when you're reading this book, there's no reason to read any other book. Just read The Science of Getting Rich. So there's no accident that this simplifying and just focusing on one thing is in all these things. So that's my 2 cents.
Appreciate you, Mike. Give Mike Shine a round of applause.
Thank you.
And for anybody who doesn't know, Mike is the brains behind a lot of the books. If you go to GualterMorello.com, go to education, go down to 52 Millionaire Wealth Principles, and then scroll down. Here are all the wealth principles. They're all written out here. And last night, while I was up till this morning, I made sure and I put in my Amazon affiliate links. So if you click on any one of these links, I get a couple of pennies anytime you purchase anything on Amazon. So what I will say is, make sure before you go to Amazon, you stop by my website and click on one of those links and then go and shop. I condone it. I approve. If Bezos is getting paid, so am I. Let's do this. If you do want to learn a little bit about affiliate marketing with Amazon, I do think I can probably get Mitch Durfee to teach a course sometime in January. Who would be interested in something like that? Would that be a value add? Awesome. Okay, so I'll ask Mitch to see if he would do something like that for us. It has been an amazing year. We're not done yet. We've got 2 more weeks left. The 52 Weeks of Wealth starts over again February, the first week of February. We've got 6 left. 6 left. And then we start over. If you haven't doubled your income and you've been with us since the beginning, you might have skipped one of the steps. That's okay. Don't do it again. This year, we dial in, we focus. We're even tighter than we were last year. We're even more focused. We're more abundant. We're more loving. We're more caring. The people we're spending our time with are better quality people, not in terms of what we can get from them, but what we can give to them, what they can receive from us. Because people who receive are people who can also deliver. But if you seek first to give to people who have the capacity to receive in a meaningful way, and I don't mean just takers, what I mean is givers, people who are just looking to be valuable, but maybe don't have the skill set yet, maybe don't know the process yet. That's what 100 Millionaires is all about. They don't have to be millionaires today, but they're future millionaires. I think back and imagine if I hadn't invested in the people I invested in 5 years ago, I wouldn't be where I am today. Some of these people take a while. Some of them are fast. Some of them are already there and they just were waiting for somebody that they could trust. Investing in other people who have the capacity to invest in you eventually, who have the desire, who have the motivation. Remember who was here on the call Thursday? It's all about motivation. If you get to watch that call, you can go check it out on YouTube. I posted it out there. It is one of my most popular videos because I put in how to make $1,000 in a week. And apparently everybody wants a get rich quick scheme. For everybody who was there, is it possible to make $1,000 in a week? Did I lay out a very simple process, a very simple plan based on your strengths? Yes. Based on the community you already had access to? Yes. Excellent. Who here knows that they're procrastinating because they're not quite confident in their ability to deliver? That's okay. We'll work on that this year. Year's resolution, have more confidence in your ability to deliver. You are capable of more because you can become more, because you can try. You can just say, yes, I'll do it. And once you commit, you become better. Terry Wager, I see your hand.
Yeah, I had a little aha for the moment. And what I was thinking about is reading all of these books, going to the 52 weeks, spending 52 weeks. And if you have not made more than what you were making before, or if you have not doubled your income, it's because you were taking in all of the information, but you were not implementing it. You were not giving back with that information. And so we really want to be, and I really want to be, whenever I'm doing any of these things like this as a participant or a coach, is really how am I going to implement this in my life? How am I going to use this to move forward to help more people? And so it's really about the implementation.
100%. Give Terry a round of applause. It's all in what you do with it. It's not how valuable the information is, it's what you do with it. Any one of the 52 wealth principles, if you push it hard enough to the maximum, can make you rich. Every single one of them, if you push them hard enough, can make you rich, especially in combination, especially if you do it one at a time. Go ahead, Mike.
I saw Mitch has his hand up too, but I always talk about Jen Sincero's "You Are a Badass," which all the women love that book. And to take a little bit of the stress off of you action, which, analysis paralysis, people get a little crazy, is she just uses the phrase, I just want to see. I just want to see if I can make $1 million. I just want to see if I can own a couple of rentals. So just take that stress off yourself. Life is just supposed to be fun. We're supposed to be having a good time here. So don't be so stressed out by it all, and just want to see if I can do it. I just want to see if I can be a billionaire.
100%, totally.
Billionaire.
That's
I
awesome.
just want to try.
Billion.
That, Mike, I wish I would have
shot.
heard those words 8 years ago. I'd be even further ahead than I am now. I just want to see. That literally takes all the weight off. That hit me hard, dude. That's awesome. And honestly, like I was just going to say in terms of the action, like Terry was saying, the biggest thing I've seen with the students I've worked with so far is really the difference between those that are taking action and those that aren't. Because in the end, like when I work with people, when we're done, you have the tools and the knowledge to go out and acquire real estate. And then after that, it's like, well, are you taking action or not? And it's beautiful to see when people are doing it, but honestly, it makes me sad when I see, people not take that step forward, not take that action. And it really is completely the difference between being where, Galter is or being where you are right now.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody wants to be where I am. If you want to go further, that's okay too. I have no problem with you going further than me.
I will go further in cryptocurrency. You will not
Nice
beat me.
reframe. Hey, I also want to
Watch
pipe
out.
up here again and say, no. What Mitch is talking about, if you find yourself not taking action, or you find yourself stuck, plateaued, and don't know what to do, don't just come in here and try to figure out what it is. Talk to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you move forward. And what Mike Shine talks about, I've been using that for years, is let's just do little experiments. tiny experiments just to see if we just add one little thing that we can move forward with and see what happens, because that's how we find out what's next. If we take action, see what happens. Take more action, refine our action, take other action. But if you're not taking action, contact Walter, contact me, contact Mitch, Mike, Ryan, whoever it is. Talk to us. We'll get you to the right person and make sure you're starting to move forward.
Absolutely. Give Terry, give Mike, give Mitch a round of applause. Doug, our coaches, Ryan McDermott, amazing dedication. Thank you so much. Ron Bowling, for everything you do on the back end, even if, whoa, there he is. Everything you do on the back end, we appreciate it. All the prep work you've been doing on this refinance, just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Darina, for connecting us with all of the right people, making sure the podcast is running, making sure that everybody is aware of the link for Thursday. If you have not gotten the link for Thursday, the email for this Thursday for South Coast Capital Investments, send a message to Darina. She'll make sure that you are invited to that event. And I've got to go buy some silver now, because it's what makes me happy. And so I'm going to go to the ATM, pull out some cash, and go and hand it to a gentleman who has a lot of silver. I'm going to negotiate, because that's what I do. It keeps me sharp. I have fun doing it. And I hope that each and every one of you finds some form of investment that you can jump into. You wrote down some action steps, because that's what we do every week. You're going to go declutter something, simplify something, write down, take care of, inspire the people around you. If you have somebody next to you right now, make sure you give them a hug and a kiss and let them know how important they are to you. If you see somebody in the next few minutes, make sure you let them know how important they are to you. Keep the love moving, keep the energy high. Your life is getting better every day, and every week, in every way, you get better and better. That is what the 52 weeks is all about. Self-improvement, one step at a time. It's a system. It's a process. We're 2 weeks out from Christmas. Let's simplify our lives. The new year is coming. New Year's resolutions belong in a month ago. If you haven't gotten yours in, you're behind. Let's catch up. 2021 is here. It's your biggest year yet. You're doubling your income. You're doubling your net worth. If you haven't signed up for the mentorship, or you have a friend who wants to sign up for the mentorship, let them know the prices are going up. But Darina's running a special. She's going to start it out sometime next week for Christmas, where she's going to give one half off. So if you buy one, you get one half off. Your spouse gets in for half off. So, or your partner gets in for half off. So it's a special she is running. She's going to be running the campaign, the promotion on January 1st. I am charging more. That is because I care about you. I care about the community we already have. It's about building quality and making sure that we can still service people the way that we want to service them. Does that make sense? I also am going to commit to finding a way to deliver the $1,000 product. I'll commit to finding a way to deliver a $500 product. It is something we are working on. So even if temporarily we adjust to continue servicing everybody, we will go back and create those products. Is that okay? Excellent. Excellent. Go check out your personality at waltermorello.com. I'm working on adding more to that as well, but it's going to help in your weeks going forward. Knowing who you are and how you operate and earn income is massive for working with us and the other coaches. Again, this is an investment in yourself. Manny, Mitch, Peter, Melanie, Ryan, Jen, another Michael, Patrick, Tatiana, Matt, Kim, Yvette, Kevin, Ron, Darina, Abby, Dave, Julie, Terry, Mike, Shine, Paul, Sandra, Tom, Melanie, Herlina, Robert, Jen, Paula, Sue, George, Brett Reed. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate each and every one of you. Mike Strong, the book of the week is Set for Life. Enjoy the rest of your week. Move powerfully. You are an alchemist. You have the ability to turn the people around you into more value, because you can become more valuable. When you have a choice, always work with the best.
Always work with the best.
Cheers to your success. Oh, you're right. It's the other way around, huh? When you have a choice, always work with the best. Yeah.
Give Walter a round of applause at the end of his thing. Rock and roll. Woo! Go get it.
See you guys next week. Many of you, I'll see you Monday night. Enjoy your weekend.
Killed it.
Always.
Always work with the best. Later, Doug. Bye, Manny. I'll see you guys Thursday.